Morning children, how are you all? I hope all of you are fine and safe inside your homes. Now today we are going to start with first chapter, that is The Crystal Cave by Arup Kumar Datta. First chapter, that is The Crystal Cave by Arup Kumar Datta. Now before we start with the story, first let us find out all the hard words of this chapter so that it becomes very easy for you to understand the story. So now let us start with the first hard word, which is riverine. So something which is situated very close to a river or a river bank is known as riverine. I repeat, something which is situated very close to river or say river bank is known as riverine. Now the next which we have is ladle. So what is a ladle? It is a spoon with a very long handle which is used to serve soup or broth. I repeat, a ladle is a spoon with a very long handle which is used to serve a soup or a broth. The third one is reed. What is reed? R-E-E-D. What is reed? It is a tall thin plant of the grass family. It is a tall and a thin plant of grass family which is used for making household items. So here in this slide we have studied three hard words, that is the first one was riverine, the second one was ladle and the third one was reed, R-E-E-D, reed. Now we will study the fourth one, which is troughs. So what are troughs? T-R-O-U-G-H-S. So what are troughs? Troughs are the long narrow containers in which we store various food items or various things related to kitchen. So what are troughs? These are the long narrow containers. Next we have is barter system. So what is barter system? In the ancient times people did not exchange things with money, but what they used to do? They used to exchange things instead of money. So if I am giving you salt, you are giving me sugar. You are not giving me money. So that is what we call barter system. We are exchanging things in place of things. We are not dealing with money. We are just dealing with the things. And the next which we have is, that is the sixth one, is furrow. F-U-R-R-O-W. What is furrow? It is a long ditch which is made in the ground. A long narrow ditch which is made in the ground. Now what is it related to? That I will explain in the story. So for now, what is it? Furrow is a long narrow ditch which is made in the ground. Now we'll study the next, that is the seventh one, Hoolock gibbon. So what is a Hoolock gibbon? It's an animal, it's a gibbon which is found in northeastern India with white eyebrows. I repeat, what is Hoolock gibbon? It's an animal found with white eyebrows in northeastern India. Next is pangolin. So what is a pangolin? It is a mammal whose body is covered with horny overlapping scales. You can see in the picture also, and it has got a long sticky tongue. So that is what we mean by pangolin. Next which we have is pug marks. What are pug marks? It means the footprint of the animals. The footprint of the animals that leave is known as pug marks. So all the foot marks that are left by the animals is what we call pug marks, which means footprint of an animal. Next is imitation. So what is imitation? When we are trying to copy something or someone, then we call it as imitation. So what is imitation? When we are trying to copy someone or something. Copying someone or something is called imitation. Now the next one is in gay abandon. What do you mean by in gay abandon? Means doing things without caring. Doing things without caring. Doing all the things without a care. It means not caring at all, but just keep doing the things. Now the next which we have is croon, which means humming or singing in a very soft voice. Croon, which means humming or singing in a very soft voice. Now the last which we have is Loku. So what do you mean by Loku? L-O-K-U. It means that it is a harvest festival which is celebrated in Arunachal Pradesh. It is a harvest festival which is celebrated in Arunachal Pradesh. So this was about hard words. So now let us start with the story. So let us start with the characters in the story. So there are three characters mainly which we are going to talk about. They are first the grandma Kamlong, second Changun, and third Thennayak. So these are the three characters in which story we are going to talk about. So let us now begin with the story. So one day grandma Kamlong had given a broth. She had given a broth, which is soup like thing. She had given it to both the children. So both the children had tasted it, and then suddenly Thennayak said, "Oh, it is awful, yuck, it is awful." So he didn't like the broth which the grandma had given, but then grandma added a little salt in it. So when she added a little salt to it, and when then both the children tasted it, it was very yummy, it was delicious. So when broth was given earlier, there was no salt in it, so it was not very delicious, it was tasteless. But when grandma added a little salt to it, it became very yummy and it became very delicious. So what is the magic element in this? The salt is the magic element in this broth. So the magic element was the salt which was added in the broth, and that made it very yummy and delicious. So then grandma suddenly said, "Our village was very rich in the past." So what does she mean by that? She meant that they were all growing paddy and millet, but now they are not growing all that because it has all gone. So what she meant was they were growing their own salt. They were having their own salt in the past, but now they don't have it. And then suddenly both the children asked that would have been so much of salt, right? That would have been enough to fulfill our village people's needs. So then grandma said, yes, it was so much of salt, it was sufficient, it was enough for all the people of village to require it. So then both the children started thinking that cannot we have our salt now? Can't we have that our salt river water now? So then both of them decided to do something. So then Thennayak asked grandma, is it possible if the spring flows again, can we have our salt spring? So then grandma smiled and certainly said, yes, if the spring flows again, we can have salt again. So then the next day Thennayak and Changun went to the spot where the salt spring had flowed into the river, and so they started their journey. Both of them had bamboo tubes strapped to their backs so that they can carry the drinking water, Now after that what happened? They were supposed to go in the jungle, but they were not afraid to go in the jungle. Why? Because they were knowing only if they attack the wild animal, then only wild animal will attack them. So they were not afraid of the wild animals, neither the jungle. But halfway up the mountain, there was a serious obstacle on their way. Now what was that serious obstacle on their way? A herd of wild elephants was their serious obstacle. They could not see the elephants, but still they could hear the sound of the elephants. So what they decided? They decided to wait there where they were for some time, so that when elephants would go, they would continue with their journey. But then they thought that elephants would stay there for quite a long. So again they waited for the elephants to move, and then they started with their journey. But they were not at all scared of the elephants. They were just shocked, a little bit surprised, but they were not at all scared. Their motive of having the salt was still the same. After that they continued with their journey, and then hundreds of pug marks were visible on the ground. What do you mean by pug marks? I explained earlier in the hard words also that it is the footprint of animal. So hundreds of pug marks were visible on the ground that were of cats and the elephants. So then suddenly Changun said, "It's a natural salt lick." What do you mean by that? It's a natural salt lick, which means the elephants, that is the wild animals, had gone there, they had come over there to lick the salt, to lick the earth's salt. So that was a natural salt lick. Then Thennayak and Changun raced towards the hollow. As they had guessed, it was a cave, and actually also it was a cave. They entered into the cave, the sun rays were falling, everything was visible, and there were white crystalline heaps which were shining, which were glittering. And so then that Thenak bent and picked up a crystals. Thenak bent and picked up a pinch of crystals and he tasted and he wondered in surprise, it's salt. He wondered, it's salt. He could not believe that yes, it was salt and they have found out the salt spring. He was so very much happy. He was very happy, and also Changun was very happy that they have discovered the salt spring. They both were very happy, and then they returned to home. And when they were returning to home, all the villagers were worried that where are these two children? Where have they gone and how will they come? Are they facing any problems or not? But then Thenak and Changun had faced problems, but then they overcame that problems and had got a solution and had also found out the salt spring. So all the villagers were very happy, also the grandma was very happy, and both the children, they were also very happy. Then chief said, well done children, your courage deserves to be rewarded. So then both of the children were made the chief guests in the Loku festival. That is a festival which is a harvest festival which is celebrated in Arunachal Pradesh. So like this, both of them were very happy as they had found out the salt spring. So this was all about the story where we have studied that there are two characters who had found out, that is Changun and Thenak, who have found out the salt spring and had brought prosperity back into their villages. So that was all for the story. I hope you have enjoyed the story and also liked the story. Thank you and have a nice day.